you're not in a position where it's like, there's nothing you can do. This is not genetics. Like genetics basically says whatever you're born with, that's what you get. There's nothing you can do about it. No. I'm telling you, you can make changes. They could start today. And by tomorrow, you will be slightly better.
Welcome, new people. You should know that we are never prepared. We are always wearing sweats. We're never wearing makeup.
I would almost consider myself the MC of this podcast. I am the narrator.
So welcome. We hope you enjoy this.
All right. Today we are talking to Dr. Will
Bulsiewicz.
Erin.
I'm obsessed
Erin?
with this guy. Obsessed.
Erin?
I bought the powder.
Hello?
Everything he said.
Hello. Are you looking at the powder? Okay.
You brought it with you to Austria?
I brought it with me. He is a board certified gastroenterologist. I can never say that right.
Let's just say he's a GI doctor.
He is a he's a gut health expert. He is talking to us about the importance of fiber, how it is crucial for so many things, what's actually happening with your microbiome, the gut health connection.
It is a fascinating conversation, whether you have a gut, don't have a gut, think about your gut, have a good gut or a bad gut. It is a fascinating health
What's also fascinating is you don't realize how the gut is truly connected to everything. Your skin, your hair, your nails, your brain, your everything. So he gives us real tips on just how to be better.
No, it's a great conversation. Love him. Love his Instagram account. Love his powder that we bought. All of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Okay, Dr. B. It's really great to have you. I have many questions for you. I mean, we have lots of questions for you.
Erin, ease into it. Ease into it. I want to start by saying I'm the one that actually found him. So give me the floor for a second. Erin tries to take credit for.
Didn't take any credit, just said I had lots of questions.
Every wellness, we're on different wellness journeys, but so many people started writing me, asking me about soluble fiber. And I started going, the fuck is soluble fiber? Like I'm pretty well versed in supplements and all the things, but I was like, I don't know enough about it. So I started diving in and it led me to you.
So Dr. B, why don't you give us a little background before we dive in to tell everybody who you are, why you're here, what do you do?
Okay, amazing. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My wife is a massive fan and she's freaking out like in the room next door. Yes.
Where is she? Tell her to come in.
Yeah, tell her to
I
come
might
say
have to go
hi.
grab her. Yeah, we have 4 kids, so I think she's probably wrangling kids. But
Oh my God. Wait, what city do you guys live in?
we live in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh God, I knew it was going to be LA. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
It's a great place. I was
going to try to
visited us before.
We have, but I was going to try to make myself be a patient of yours, but I don't live in the same city as you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. B, and B is short for Bulsiewicz, which is a very long Polish last name. So I am a gastroenterologist, and I myself went through a health transformation about 12, 13 years ago. And it changed everything for me, where I felt compelled as a medical doctor to not just sit in a clinic and write prescriptions all day or order procedures all day. I felt compelled to start to talk about nutrition with my patients and lifestyle and sleep and exercise and these kinds of things. And as I started to explore this space, because it was so transformative for me, as I started to explore this space, I discovered this new science of the microbiome, which is incredible and so exciting. And what connects us to these microbes, and we can dig deeper, we can get as nerdy as y'all want to get. I'm super nerdy.
We want to get nerdy.
Okay.
No. We want to get nerdy, but we also, I think people listen to the pod because we kind of speak in layman's terms. We try to take really complicated things and make it simple. So we want to get nerdy, but I mean, Erin, not too nerdy.
We want to get nerdy, but with like a Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. That's fair
so
enough.
People can understand it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Just dial me back if I'm getting too nerdy. So anyway, basically I discovered this new science of the microbiome. And this is a brand new thing in medicine. It is transforming medicine. And the thing that connects us to our microbes most powerfully is the food that we eat, but in particularly soluble fiber. So Sarah, you're onto something. And I wrote a book that came out in 2020. And here I am. I'm a humble guy from Syracuse, New York. I'm a gastroenterologist in Charleston, South Carolina. I write this book. It comes out in May 2020 in the middle of the pandemic, and it ended up becoming a thing. And I think the reason why is because it was pulling back the curtain for the first time on the microbiome and introducing this to the American public, something that I think people really needed to hear.
Now, it's interesting because, you know, would you consider yourself an integrative doctor?
Now, that's an interesting question. I am someone, forgive me for this, but like I push back against the labels because I feel like we reduce people too quickly down to like, you know, hey, this is what you are. And now I think I know everything about you. Right?
I respect that.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is because the things that you're talking about, nutrition, microbiome, I have seen a lot of gastroenterologists. How do I say it?
GI doctors. GI doctors.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I've seen many.
Hold on, guys. Is the GI doctor the one that gives you the colonoscopy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen many GI doctors in my life because I have microscopic colitis.
Oh, okay.
And it's been a journey I've had for 20 years. And it's like took over my life for, you know, at least a decade.
Oh.
It's very under control now. But I've seen many, many doctors. And I would say that 100% of the GI doctors that I saw said, doesn't matter what you eat. Literally said those words. Doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't matter if you're eating dairy or grains or anything. You have an autoimmune disease and your body is going to create inflammation every time you eat any food. They didn't want to know lifestyle questions. If I wasn't literally pooping my pants in the middle of the night, they didn't think that I really had a problem.
Ew.
Because they would say that it's not consistent with most colitis patients. And I always felt like a big reason why I'm so into holistic medicine and alternative medicine is because of my experience with GI doctors in regards to my colitis, because nutrition was never discussed. Lifestyle was never discussed. By the way, stress was never discussed. And I know now, sitting here as a 42-year-old person who's like relaxed in her life, that my stress and my colitis went hand in hand. You know, the more anxious I was, the more upset my stomach was.
For sure.
And the more inflammation I created. And then the more inflammation I created, the more stressed out I was. And I never felt like I had anyone looking at me from a holistic standpoint and trying to help me figure out what I could be doing other than taking medication.
Yeah.
To help it. And so when I say integrative, I guess I just mean like one hand over here in the Western world and one hand over here looking at alternative theories. And I guess I want to talk to you, or my question is really about why there is such a blind spot for Western trained medical doctors when it comes to nutrition and lifestyle and supplements. I mean, supplements gets tricky because they're not regulated. And there's a lot of problems over there too. But why is it such a tunnel vision?
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I would accept integrative doctor. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I would also accept lifestyle medicine doctor. So, and some people call me functional medicine, and although I don't necessarily see myself that way, I understand what they mean. So I accept all of those things. I am goal directed. Like ultimately what I care about is people being better and addressing the root of the issue. That's where my focus is. And like even describing nutrition or sleep or exercise or chronotherapy, like fasting or things of that variety, or stress. Like to me, that's not alternative. That should be so mainstream.
It's like common sense, kind of. I mean, it's just sort of
I think so.
Common sense to factor those things in.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, so like Erin, what you described, you were told that it didn't matter, but you knew that wasn't true. Because when you ate certain foods, it gave you diarrhea. And when you were stressed out, it gave you diarrhea. And if you had a bad night's sleep, it might make it worse. And you would describe the vicious cycle where things got worse, which stressed you out, which made them even worse, which stressed you out more. That we call that the vicious cycle.
Yep.
So these are quite firmly established things. But so let me answer your question though, which is to say that, okay, we have a problem with medical education in the United States. I'm not the only person who sees this. A lot of people see this, including my peers. It tends to be people.
That's comforting, actually.
Yeah, and by the way, like the three of us are pretty similar in age. I'm the elder statesman here, but we're pretty similar in age here. Okay, so we're all like Gen Xers, but barely.
I thought that we were aging millennials.
Depends on which cutoff you use. So I'm 80.
Okay.
And some people
I'm
say
82.
80, and some people say 82. Yeah, some people say 80, and some people say 82. So you guys are like right in the fringe. But all right, so anyway,
I'm Gen Z for our listeners. Okay, I want all of our listeners to know I'm actually Gen Z. I don't know what these two people are talking about, but I am actually Gen Z.
Really
actually,
so
Gen Z desperately needs dating apps right now. But anyway, that's a different story. So there are many of my peers who feel the same way. We tend to be the younger doctors. We know there's a problem, and there are examples of things that are emerging. So, for example, I'm a part of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and within the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, these are doctors who care and believe that nutrition and sleep and exercise and stress are a part of the process, and they need to be dealt with. And so, but the issue that exists is that we built a healthcare system around what happens in the hospital, but that is not where 95% of the actual care is provided. The majority of care is provided in the clinic, right? You don't get to the hospital unless you're extremely sick. So as I was coming up and I finished my medical school at Georgetown, and then I was at Northwestern in Chicago and the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Like when a person's in the hospital, you don't care that much about the food. You should, but you don't. You don't care that much about the food. You don't care that much about the sleep or the exercise. You're just trying to get them well and get them out of the hospital.
Also, at the hospital, they're giving them like Lunchables.
Oh, it's actually,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, can we discuss the fact that in hospitals with people who are supposed to be the brightest in the world are literally giving their patients
it's a joke.
Ensure, where the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, which is known to be bad for us.
Oh, it's...
Why on earth? Why?
Trust me,
it makes me think that doctors are dumb. Like, they're smart.
Erin, you have a doctor on the podcast.
I know, but he's a like-minded. I'm just like, these are the smartest people in the world. They understand these things. Why does it not bother them?
Doctors are just people. I mean, doctors are just people. Like guys, I have my 14-year-old, I talked about it in an earlier episode, was misdiagnosed for 2 years. She had a freaking autoimmune disease. She has juvenile arthritis.
No, but that's something different than, what insurance.
No,
a nurse and a doctor, they know.
But Erin, I was taking her to the best surgeons in the world, and none of them were going, this doesn't add up. Why don't we look a little further? Why don't we look over here? Anyways.
Well, I think doctors are human. Doctors make mistakes. And the issue is that, just to defend doctors for a moment, because this is the space
I want you to, because I want to feel better about it.
Yeah, well, this is the space that I come from. And you have to understand, we're getting our asses kicked right now, right?
Totally.
Because the system is basically saying, hey, here's your situation, okay? We're going to pay you less than we did last year after we just cut you last year too. And meanwhile, your rent is going up, your employees want more money, the cost of the medical devices is going up, right? So basically, we're getting squeezed. You think we want to go in the room for 8 minutes? Do you think that's what we want to do?
Totally.
Do you think that we go to medical school thinking I can make money by being a medical doctor? This is my primary focus. We all could have been bankers. We all could have been bankers. We would have done that. We would have done that.
That is, you're so right. And by the way, this is not some bashing. I personally don't know what I would do without my doctors. I mean, doctors and teachers are the two most important professions on the planet. Without them, we have
TikTokers
nothing.
Are also important.
Yes, this is very true. But you're making such a great point. Doctors are the greatest minds we have. They're truly the greatest minds we have. You guys could go, to your point, be, private equity, freaking Ponzi scheme people. I don't know, but you have dedicated your lives to trying to do the best you can and make the world a better place. It's amazing.
Yes. And I think that the issue that people need to understand is that doctors don't receive actual training in any of these things. Okay. So when I was in medical school, let me contextualize this. So here I am. I would characterize myself as mid-career. Okay. I'm turning 45 this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're early mid. You're early mid in your profession.
Okay.
I think it's early mid.
You know, well, some people go to 60 and some people go to 70 these days. But all right. So here was when I had my nutrition training. I was at Georgetown, which I started in 2002. It was the spring of 2003. It was for 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, did they teach me how to talk about nutrition? Where one day, if a patient like Erin Foster comes into my office and asks me, what should I eat for microscopic colitis? I can answer the question. No. What they taught me was that, hey, here's this weird vitamin that when it's deficient, people get this rash and they lose their hair and they get this abnormal heart rhythm. And that was
Is that vitamin D?
I think that was vitamin B6. But
B6.
yeah, but like, okay, so how many times have I diagnosed a vitamin B6 deficiency in my entire career? 0, right? That's what they taught us. So the problem is that most doctors feel like they're not adequately trained to really have this conversation. And that's part of the issue. And then the other issue is, if I want to talk to you about nutrition, it's going to take me 15 minutes minimum. But the problem is that the way that the system has like basically developed, if I take 15 minutes to talk to you about nutrition, like we're losing money. We're not making money. We're losing money.
Yeah.
No. It's all about making money.
Well, you have to keep the lights on. You can't go out of business, right? I mean, I'm not saying like
I don't even
rich.
mean from doctors. I just mean the system. I mean, it's just really in general right now in business, no matter what, there's an obsession with profit, especially in America. It's like profit over everything.
Can we just like pivot though a little bit? Because I am way less knowledgeable than Erin, and I'm definitely way less knowledgeable than the doctor. I don't even know what microbiome is. I mean, I am really early in this journey of learning about my gut. I was told like 12 years ago that my mom made me go to this integrative doctor who told me I had leaky gut, and I started laughing at her and I just ignored it. So I'm really just at the very
great. Well, most people probably are the same boat as you.
Until I started hearing, no, your gut is actually a huge indicator as to how you age. I was like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And that's where you got Sarah's attention.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, we can focus on that if you want to. So
So tell me, what is microbiome? Can you just tell us what it actually even is?
Yeah. So like we think of ourselves as like these dominant figures that control our environment, but it actually turns out that we are what you would better describe as a superorganism, because we are covered with invisible microorganisms. You can't see them; they're too small. But if you pulled out a microscope and you took a look, you would see that you are completely, totally covered in microbes. Your skin, your eyeball, inside your nose, inside your mouth, inside of a woman.
And when you say microbes, I'm picturing like little squiggly like worms. Is that what I should be picturing?
Well, that's not unfair. I mean, that's a reasonable picture, but you could also see things that like kind of look like a little spiky ball, right? There's bacteria. And
there's an emoji for that. There's an emoji when you put in germ, it comes in like a little green spiky ball.
There we go. Yes. So like we have the bacteria, we have the yeasts or fungi, we have these things that I think are kind of interesting called archaea. They produce gas. They've been producing gas for we think that that's the first life on the planet. They've been producing gas for 4 billion years. Wow. And then you could have parasites, but actually, believe it or not, some of the new research is saying that parasites can be good, believe it or not.
Yeah. I have parasite questions.
Okay.
Erin, we're not there yet.
I'm not asking them now. I'm just saying I have parasite questions.
Okay, so here's the key though, because this is what I wanted. I want to make sure that I properly deliver this to Sarah to motivate her in her health journey for longevity.
Yeah.
Yes. So the key here is that we evolved from day one, from the first moment of human history with these microbes. There was never a moment without them. So they integrated themselves into our physiology, where now they play an essential role, in our digestion, which is like, that's access to nutrients, that's life, in our metabolism, in our immune system, that's inflammation, in our hormones, in our mood, in our cognition, so ability to think, focus, and even the way in which we express our genetic code. These microbes play a role in all of those things. And so when we think about longevity, like, you're going to see a bazillion studies if you start to ask the question, how can I live longer? Well, reduce your risk of heart disease, reduce your risk of cancer. Okay, these are metabolic issues. These are inflammatory issues. These are cognitive issues. And the microbiome is central. This is central for human health. So if you really want to live longer, you should be addressing this. And I think it's that important that every single listener at home right now should be motivated by the end of this episode.
It's a great way to explain it.
So where people are concerned about their heart and weight loss and diabetes and heart disease and heart attacks and all those things, microbiome should be like right there with that.
110%. 110%. Now, I'm not trying to claim that hey, these simple changes that I would suggest are going to do what Ozempic does. That's not what I'm trying to claim. But what I would claim is that these simple things that I'm going to propose, if you do them and you are consistent about them, you will transform your health, and it doesn't come with the side effects that Ozempic comes with. There's a lot
I would
there.
love to know your take on the GLP-1s. That's what they're called, right?
Yeah,
Are we gonna go right into that?
Well, you're bringing it up, so I'm curious if you think that they're good for us or not, and maybe is microdosing good for us? Is full dosing bad for us?
Well, I feel like I have to tailor this because you guys live in LA, so it's like a specific conversation.
No,
for
but
California.
neither one of us are on that. Neither one.
No,
I mean,
but everyone I know is on it.
We don't have judgment around it, but for Erin and I, that is not.
For the person that wants to lose 5 or 10 pounds, what do you think about it for them?
So I personally wouldn't do it. Here's why. Imagine you go for it and you give it a crack, okay? And you lose 10 pounds by microdosing it. Amazing. Number one, we don't know there's no study on microdosing. So we're in uncharted territory here. Number two, we don't know what the side effects are, short-term or long-term, of that sort of dosing pattern. Even with the ones that we do have studies, we don't know long-term what's going to happen. But the most important part, number three, is that if you stop taking it, you're going to get all the weight back. You're going to gain it all back. So basically, this is not a roadmap to losing weight and keeping weight off and then discarding the drug. This is, hey, you better be ready to sign up for this and stay on it. And you might be on it for the rest of your life. Yeah.
The rest of your life. And we don't know there's no studies on that.
Exactly. That's my
I had
concern.
dinner at that guy, the guy that's claiming he's going to live till he's 200, that guy Brian or whatever.
Yeah.
And that guy Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
And there was very interesting dinner. Not really, but there was a guy, a doctor. He was I don't know what kind of doctor he was, but he was claiming that GLP-1s, he's like, it's gonna be not a cure for cancer, but it's gonna be it's almost like a vaccine for cancer. He was saying some crazy stuff about, maybe it's not crazy, but I was like, what? I'm sorry. It's like, the GLP-1s are gonna, I'm not articulating this correctly.
Well, I would love to clarify if I could on that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So basically, what I'm hearing is the doctor is basically suggesting that the GLP-1s are going to dramatically reduce our risks of cancer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a much better way of putting it.
And so here's the thing about this. There are obesity related cancers.
Ah, okay.
There are and that's where the benefit would exist. The research that exists around protecting from heart disease or reducing risk of cancer involves people who are morbidly obese. There's absolutely no data that someone who is fit, healthy, and wants to lose 5 to 10 pounds can actually get those benefits. In that context, the risk may be more than the benefit.
Erin and I have gotten into trouble with not trouble, but I'm of the mindset, and it's probably irresponsible for me to be like this, but I say crazy shit on this podcast. I'm like, go guys, you want to lose 5 pounds? I'll tell you how to do it. Put the Doritos down. Don't eat past 7. Eat more protein. Take your creatine. Go for a walk and lift heavy weights. And Erin's like, Sarah, you can't talk to people like that. People are going to come for you. You're skinny your whole life. You can't. I'm like, that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to, just because I haven't struggled with weight. Which, yes, this is true. I haven't. I've been very genetically blessed that I have a lot of problems. Let me be very clear. That's just not one of them. Erin's like, you can't say that to people. And I'm like, well, I just did. So.
Yeah. Well, I did struggle with my weight at one point. So I used to be 50 pounds overweight, and it was actually changing my diet, transforming my gut health that allowed me to get to a place where here I am today. And like, I actually think, I'm getting ready for a photo shoot next week. And
Ooh.
yeah, and I'm actually like super proud of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Being 40,
Yeah.
like about to turn 45, I'm halfway to 90, right? And feeling like I'm in the best shape of my life. Like the dude
Pretty
at
good
45 would kick the shit out of the 25-year-old
Mhm.
version of myself.
So you lost
Mhm.
50 pounds doing it the hard way.
I lost
Diet
50
and
pounds, but I
exercise?
don't know if I would call it doing it the hard way. It's more like seeing the big picture and seeing it as a long-term view, right? Because there's a difference between losing 50 pounds in 3 months and the people who do that, the vast majority of the time, you're setting yourself up for the yo-yo.
Mhm.
Whereas what I did is I made choices and I stuck with them. And those choices that, like, some of the changes that I made, like, for example, simple stuff, like not putting Splenda and a ridiculous amount of cream into my coffee every morning,
Mhm.
right? Or like, yeah, I could drink Diet Mountain Dew all day, or I could drink water and put a splash of apple cider vinegar in there, right? Like,
Mhm.
to me, those changes are not that hard.
Wait. Do you drink apple cider vinegar every day?
I don't know about every day, but what I will do is I drink a lot of water, and then I like to throw a little splash in there because I do like the way it tastes.
Okay, but there are benefits to your gut also by drinking apple cider vinegar, right?
I would argue so.
All right, we're going to talk to you about good wipes. And, once you go good wipes, you don't go back, if you know what I'm
No.
saying. There's just,
I brought mine to Nashville with
of
me.
course, I have mine in every bathroom in my house. I have them in my car because you never know if you need to like swipe those armpits real fast. Like, they're just the best plant-based. They smell incredible.
Yep.
It's plant-based fibers for sensitive skin, okay? These are flushable wipes. A lot of them say they are. These actually are. So there's just,
And these are adult wipes, you guys. These are not baby wipes, okay?
No, these are not baby wipes.
They smell amazing. They are 40% bigger and stronger than the average wipes. There's no tearing. There's no falling apart. They're infused with soothing botanicals like aloe and vitamin E and chamomile. And I really love how they smell. Their scents are so good. They have rose water and they have shea cocoa. They have botanical bliss.
It's
They are
heavenly smells.
They're free of harsh chemicals. This is obviously important to me. There's no parabens, there's no dyes. They're totally safe and gentle for sensitive skin, and they're actually flushable because they are plant-based. So it's time to upgrade your restroom ritual with good wipes. Treat your tush to the clean, refreshed experience it deserves. Go grab yourself some good wipes at Target, Walmart, Kroger, or most local grocery stores. Just head to the toilet paper aisle and look for the bright aqua, the rose, and the emerald packs, or you can skip the trip and add them to your Amazon cart today. Good wipes, because butts deserve better.
Erin, I have my Free People, my FP movement leggings and bra with me in Austria.
Ooh.
Walked around the resort all day in colorful, beautiful colors. A few people were like, "Oh, you look good. What is
wow.
that?"
And you were
I
like,
said,
"Oh, this is FP Movement." By the way, FP Movement is a standalone brand born from Free People. Free People,
Yes.
the place that I used to work in my retail job.
What I love about this brand is that, yes, it is workout clothes. Yes, it is that fabric that's performance fabric, but you feel cute in it. It doesn't feel like it's suffocating you, but it also is holding you in. And it's just cute. I don't know. It gives good butt, good shapes. It does something great with the boobs. It's all working. It's all working.
Yeah,
And it's
they also
this-
have really important sustainability practices and nonprofit partners, which we know I love because I care about people and things.
You do. You know what's great about this too is that a lot of workout clothes, they kind of look the same, right? I won't name names, but they kind of have that same shape, the same fabric, the same tones. But this one, it's like stylish. There's something about the leggings. I'm down to wear the leggings like out to lunch. I've worn those leggings to lunch meetings. It's cute.
Oh, that's very you to wear those leggings to a lunch meeting. I don't think you're supposed to be doing that.
No, but it's different. There's something about, also they have these bra tops that are really cute with jeans.
Their stuff is great.
Okay, so visit fpmovement.com to shop online or visit one of their stores across the country to shop in person. That is fpmovement.com. We now know as women that protein is essential for feeling our best, for looking our best. Protein, hear me, ladies. It is essential. Clean Simple Eats Clear Protein.
They have a protein powder. They have a clear protein soda. Okay, I've never seen anything like this. It's literally like a protein drink in a soda, which I've never seen that before, and it's delicious.
Do you not notice a big difference in how you feel and how honestly your body looks when you're low on protein? Because I have been noticing more than ever. Like when I'm not really upping the protein, I feel it and I see it and I hate it.
Eating, drinking, getting clean protein is so important. So they have their clear protein. It's a grass-fed whey protein isolate that is ultra filtered, making it low in lactose, it's easy to digest, and it's super clean. It is a female-founded, female-owned brand, which you know that we love to support. And they have so many different products. I can't believe these drinks have 20 grams of protein, okay?
Which is crazy.
More like a delicious juice instead of like a milky, heavy shake.
I love it to sort of put in your bag. You put that in your bag, you midday, whatever it is, 20 grams of protein in one drink. That's like a meal, right? That's like a full meal.
Yeah. No. Most protein bars don't have that much protein. I mean, it is really, really high in protein and they have delicious flavors and it's super, super clean. So we love this stuff. Visit cleansimpleeats.com and use the code FOSTER20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's cleansimpleeats.com. The code is FOSTER20 for 20% off your first order.
So you were saying that you want to go through some of the things that you think the audience should be doing to make themselves healthier and like, you want to feed, well, so Sarah, would it be accurate to say, because I know more about the microbiome than Sarah does, but I want to make sure I'm accurate about this. Each person has their own unique microbiome, and your microbiome is the unique set of bacteria that makes up your stomach, your body, your health, right? Each person has their own combination of prebiotics, probiotics, microbes.
Yeah, microbes. Yeah.
Microbes.
Yeah.
It's your unique combination, right? And so like there's, because I have colitis back when, I don't know, over a decade ago when it was really bad, it was really messing with my life a lot. I had looked into the microbiome transfer. I'm sure you know a lot about it. It's illegal.
She asked me for mine.
Sarah has an amazing microbiome. I mean, this girl can eat she can eat like burritos and turn it into something that gives her a six pack. I don't know what happens, but and her stomach never hurts and she's never bloated and it's like, what a dream. I don't know what that's
Even
like.
though I'm currently sitting here, I feel like I aspirated a lemon seed and I feel like I'm dying, but currently I'm sitting here, but that's it.
Well, you know what? Good. Because you deserve a little bit of that. Okay. So, but it is interesting because I feel like there's been some research. I think it's really early. You'll know better than I will. About how your microbiome sort of dictates your metabolism.
Yes.
And the health of your gut and the health of you, that you could technically take, it is something they've been doing where they take the parts of someone's microbiome, clean it off, and then they inject it into somebody else. And then they start populating that microbacteria in that person's, body. And then maybe they could start to have the health benefits that person had, right?
This sounds insane.
Well,
there is some truth
died
to
from
this.
it, to be clear.
There is some truth to this.
There's truth to it.
Yeah, there's some truth to
this. They have been
this.
trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But some people,
Okay,
I think two people died or something because it was like an infection.
Well, okay, so I guess let's talk about fecal transplants. So
yes, fecal transplant.
All right. I guess let me start with this. Yes, you have a unique microbiome. There's no one on the planet. It doesn't match anyone. If you both, Sarah and Erin, were identical twins, I know you're not, but if you were, you would only share about 30 or 35% of the same microbes, even though you have the exact same genetic code, even though you grew up in the same household, you ate similar foods as a kid, all these different similarities, same parents, right? And then because you're not twins, it's even more different. So it's unique. It's also a product of your environment. The beauty of this is the part that I love, is it's forgiving. It's changing. The choices that you make today will be reflected in your microbiome by tomorrow. You have the ability to shape the microbiome. So you're not stuck. You're not in a position where it's like, there's nothing you can do. This is not genetics. Like genetics basically says, whatever you're born with, that's what you get. There's nothing you can do about it. No. I'm telling you, You can make changes. They could start today. And by tomorrow, you will be slightly better. It might be very small, be a small change, but you can get better. It's a reflection of like your lifestyle.
Wow.
The food that you eat is probably the dominant driver. We eat 3 to 5 pounds of food per day, right? So like doing the math, that's well over 1,000 pounds of food per year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at. And like all that food is running through this tube, 20 to 25 feet, comes into contact with these microbes, and then they are changing as a result because your food becomes their food. Mm-hmm. So, but also how you sleep, how you exercise, how you arrange your day. Do you spend time outside? Exposure to light in the morning. Are you dialing it down at night so that you can sleep? Like these are important factors.
What about grounding? Is that important to you?
So grounding to me is like, if you're grounding, you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
Being outside is important to me.
Yeah.
Is that because of the vitamin D aspect?
It's actually so much more than that. Yes, it is the vitamin D. So believe it or not, vitamin D is, I would describe it more as a hormone than a vitamin.
Yeah.
And we get it from sunlight exposure, and it interacts with our gut microbiome powerfully. It also interacts with our immune system powerfully.
By the way, I ignored a vitamin D deficiency my entire life. And doctors would be like, you're deficient in vitamin, very deficient. I used to be like, okay, whatever, who cares? It just didn't sound alarming to me. Turns out, not good to be vitamin D deficient your entire life.
Yeah, there's things we can do about that. But I think the downside, dermatologists are going to get mad at me for saying this. Skin cancer is clearly a problem.
Yeah.
But skin cancer also becomes a problem because our immune system is not healthy. And we need vitamin D for our immune system. So I think that there's finding the proper balance that exists is necessary. It's important for us to spend time outside.
Well, by the way, I now have it under control, but that's just because I take a supplement. So is that kind of fake? Like, do supplements put you at real levels or fake? Like, just because my blood is now showing I'm not deficient because I take a supplement, is it actually not deficient anymore? Or is it kind of fake not deficient anymore?
Form of it.
So I'm happy to talk about supplements as much as you want to. A quick disclosure that I own a supplement company.
Okay, good.
And the reason why I do is
what's
because
it
I felt
called?
like it's called 38 Tera, 38TERA, which
Well,
means
I've heard of that.
yeah. So we make gut health supplements.
Great.
And
Okay.
I started
Well,
the
we
company
like
because I
supplements.
just wasn't satisfied with what was out there. I thought that it was very mediocre.
Mhm.
And so from a gut health
Great, let's talk
perspective, I
about
thought we could do better.
supplements.
Okay, so to answer your question on that, Sarah, vitamin D supplements, we have randomized controlled trials that do show benefits to vitamin D supplements on a number of different levels. So we can't sit here and pretend that they don't do anything, although some people love to make that claim. Again, we have placebo-controlled trials proving that they do something.
Yeah.
I think that the issue, though, is and this is not you, but for I don't want people to obsess with the vitamin D number, take a vitamin D supplement, and then use that instead of spending time outside.
Yeah, right.
Spending time outside is what you need to be doing. That's the most important thing. So, Erin, can I go back to the question that you asked about the fecal transplant, though? I hope you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Please. I love the idea.
All right. So now that we've kind of established this foundation, which is that your microbiome is changing on a daily basis, like literally throughout the day, your microbiome is changing. Can you give a fecal transplant and change a person's metabolism? The answer on some level is yes. They did a study among young men, and they took men who were insulin resistant, so like pre-diabetes, and they gave them a fecal transplant from a healthy person. And these young men had better blood sugar control. Here's the problem. It only lasted a period of a few weeks because you can give them the poop. You can install the brand new microbiome, but they don't change their diet. They don't change their lifestyle patterns. They're living life exactly the same way they did before. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go back to the microbiome they had before.
So you have to be feeding the new bacteria healthier things to keep it going?
Yes.
I mean, do you see this as do you see this as part of a next wave of medicine because it's got the legs to be something really helpful to people
Yeah.
if they use it right?
It's already here. It's already here. So we already have ways in which, for example, we're treating cancer differently as a result of the microbiome. So let me give you a quick example. So melanoma, skin cancer, number one cause of death of all skin cancers in the United States. All right. And they've started using something called immunotherapy. And basically, this is different from chemo. Chemo is where you poison everything.
Immuno's targeted, right? It's more targeted.
It's targeted because what you're doing is you're basically saying, you know what, Sarah, I'm going to take your immune system and I'm going to fire it up to wreck this cancer. All right. So they started doing research on this in melanoma, and there's a sequence of events that happened at MD Anderson, which is one of the major cancer centers, that are fascinating. Okay. Number one, when they gave antibiotics to people who were getting immunotherapy, they did worse.
Whoa.
Because you're killing the microbes.
Right.
Wow.
So then they took a group of people who had failed immunotherapy. So these are people who are sadly desperate. And they gave them a fecal transplant from a healthy person right before the immunotherapy. And the majority of people, this is a small series, but the majority of people responded to something that they had not previously responded to.
Wow.
And got basically life-saving results.
Wow.
So this basically means you change your gut, you change everything.
And yes.
But what he's also saying is that you can take a healthy person's gut and change your health potentially.
Yes, but here's my warning.
Short
It's like,
term.
don't look for the shortcut. Take advantage of the fact that the things that you do consistently on a daily basis, they that one little thing will start to reinforce itself in your gut, because the shortcut is a fecal transplant, and that only lasts a brief period of time. Whereas if you make the consistent change, you can transform everything. So there's a number 3 on the melanoma story that I want to add, because it to me is my favorite part. I have to say it.
Good. You're very good at remembering to come back to something. We're really bad at that.
Yeah,
so
I hope you don't
please
mind.
Help us. No, it's
we need
very
it.
helpful.
We need it.
Okay, cool. So with this melanoma, the follow-up was, okay, this is I'm talking as if I'm the scientist. There's something going on here with the microbiome. So what if a person ate the ultimate food for the microbiome? And that's fiber. Going back to Sarah's point about soluble fiber right off the jump.
Okay.
And what they found was that literally for every 5 grams of fiber in their diet, 5 stinking little grams of fiber per day, people increased their likelihood of surviving by 35%.
Jesus. Surviving cancer?
Yes. And this is
No,
because the
you guys,
immunotherapy was helping them.
It took us 38 minutes to get to the reason why I wanted him here, which is people saying, Sarah, soluble fiber is the cure to so many things.
Wait,
and that is
I'm
literally
shook by this.
Yeah. And
So does your supplement company make fiber? Make a fiber supplement?
So we do. And let me unpack that real quick. I'm going to say something that's very weird for a person who owns a supplement company, but I'm a medical doctor. And again, I told you I'm about results.
Yeah.
So diet should always come first. I don't want people to take a supplement, any fiber supplement, including my fiber supplement, instead of eating a healthy diet. The role of supplements from my perspective is that high quality supplements can take everything that you're doing, because you're doing your best, right? So you're doing your best in terms of diet, lifestyle, these things, and you can take it to a higher level. That to me is the role. So, and that's where I see the supplement being highly
You
useful.
know what's really inspiring to me right now is someone who's literally, and I'm just thinking about the listener. I am somebody who I would definitely say I'm healthy. I would definitely say I try to eat organic food and clean, but I'm also the person that will go into my pantry at 11 o'clock at night and get a bag of chips and salsa and just start, eating it or whatever. And what this episode is doing right now is it's really making me realize that everything matters. That everything matters. If you go grab the handful of blueberries at 11 p.m., that is going to matter. That is going to do something to your microbiome just the same way that going and grabbing the In-N-Out burger and the French fries, which like, yes, we have to indulge and we have to do those things, but like it all matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is true, but at the same time, I don't want to freak people out and make them.
No.
So I have a saying, which is progress over perfection, because to me, it's about like, okay, like where am I at? I want to meet you where you are. Where am I at? And what is one small change that I can make that's going to actually make me feel better? Make me feel better, right? And I feel better because my microbiome is healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you were going to tell our audience one thing, guy, like you're only allowed to say there's one thing. If you could make everyone on our audience put one thing down, never eat or drink this thing again. One thing, what would it be?
Diet Coke.
Erin, let him say it.
It wouldn't be Diet Coke, but Diet Coke is not far off.
And we can get into other things, but I just want to know what is the one, like.
It could be a category too.
I mean, all right.
Wait, I want to make a guess. Processed foods.
Well, I would definitely go with ultra processed foods. No, there's no question. Like if I'm allowed to do
Erin,
category, I would do that.
stop leading the witness. Like,
I think where
Dr.
I'm
B
at,
and I are partners.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to upset anyone, but let me just say it. Alcohol.
Fuck.
Guys.
Yeah, it's not doing anything good for us. This whole lie that like a glass of wine
It's a lie.
Erin,
makes us Italian and cool
It's
and chic. It's all bullshit.
Erin, I've never drank alcohol.
You
Ever.
have drank alcohol, but you're not a drinker.
No,
Yeah.
I've never. Yeah, okay.
You've never in my life seen you order a glass of wine at dinner.
I've gone years without having any alcohol in my
I know.
body.
I always thought you were such a loser, but I guess you're like healthy. But it's true. I mean, alcohol for me, as someone who has a really sensitive disposition in my microbiome, drinking is really hard on me. Like really, really hard, really uncomfortable. I feel it so much. It's really tough. It creates so much inflammation. I actually feel the inflammation happening.
Yep.
When I drink. I can't have a glass of wine and eat food at the same time. I have to, this is crazy and this is going to sound bad, but because like I like to have a glass of white wine, I have to have the white wine by itself on an empty stomach, because if I do it when I have food, there's so much inflammation. I'm so uncomfortable. I can't function.
Yeah. Well, I don't want
and it just tells me how my body's reacting.
100%. And I don't want you or anyone else to feel bad about that. But I do want to call it like it is. And by the way, I like that you guys are sisters and banter like this. I hope that my girls, I have 3 daughters. I hope that they're like this one day and have a podcast that I could be on.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But also, you can
nice.
Please stop worrying about our audience. Okay. If you knew the crazy shit that we say on this podcast, please don't worry about them. Just say it like it is. You are the
you
expert.
can say alcohol is bad for you.
Well, there was
Yes.
Well, I'm someone who look, I had a great time in college. I had a great time through my 20s. And I've had times in my life where I was under the impression that wine is good for you. So I was having 2 glasses of wine every night. And then a study changed my mind. So there was a study that I came across where basically they took a group of people and, let me start by saying this, Erin, in microscopic colitis and other conditions like microscopic colitis, I would tell you that if we took a look under the hood, we would find that your gut microbiome is damaged and the gut barrier is fragile. And when the gut barrier is fragile, it can be easily broken, which leads to toxins leaking across and activating the immune system, and that creates inflammation. All right. And inflammation is the root of so many of these problems. In fact, nearly every problem that we've discussed during the show today, inflammation is a part of the formula. So anyway, with alcohol, they did a study where they took a group of people and they made them drink to a certain point, and then they tracked their blood alcohol level and a toxin that comes from inflammatory bacteria that shouldn't be in your blood, but they were detecting it in the blood. It's called lipopolysaccharide. And basically what they showed was, okay, when alcohol levels go up, guess what? So do lipopolysaccharide levels. When alcohol levels peak, guess what? So does the lipopolysaccharide level. The alcohol comes down, so does the lipopolysaccharide, And the lipopolysaccharide does not get back to zero until the alcohol level is zero. So
Okay, but what is that doing to our body if
you're activating
whatever?
inflammation. Basically, everything I said about lipopolysaccharide, replace it with the word inflammation. That's what you created. You just created inflammation with alcohol. So basically,
Okay, and what's inflammation doing? What's inflammation doing to us?
well, for someone for someone who has microscopic colitis, it can activate their disease and give them diarrhea. For different people, it does different things.
Can we swap out the word diarrhea for something less personal?
Sorry.
Well, I mean, Erin, that's what you have. That's what you're dealing with.
Well, and my wife has
You're-
accused me of being way
yeah.
too comfortable talking about these things. But
It's a word we have to swap out. What's a word we can use instead? And
Aaron has a lot of diarrhea.
No,
That's so fun to say.
what's a word we could say instead?
Shit your pants. Shit your pants.
Yeah.
And it was pretty
explosion?
liquidy.
Um,
Liquidy.
No, for real though, because I'm not going to keep
all
it.
right, I'll move on to
So,
something
for
else.
real.
I'll move on to something else.
No, it's fine. But just change the word diarrhea. What else can we say instead of that? That when your
mean-
inflammation goes up, so does your
Diarrhea.
so does your disease. So does your I don't know, inflammatory response.
Yeah, well, exactly. But like if you take someone like Sarah, who doesn't have a health-related issue per se, but she feels fatigue. So you have a drink.
Totally. I've been fatigued my whole life.
Yeah, so you drink. You have so picture this: you have a drink. How do you feel when the alcohol wears off? You're exhausted, right?
Mhm.
And it's the inflammation that's activated that does that. Now, inflammation can also make people feel bloated, have trouble processing their food, give you a headache, give you a migraine, cause joint pain, make your skin break out, and give you whether it be acne or eczema or psoriasis. These are all different ways in which inflammation can ultimately present itself. But the point is that that's where it's coming from.
It doesn't make sense to me. You know, I'm somebody who is pretty educated. I'm pretty in the weeds in health and wellness. I mean, I'm trying to, be better. I want to live that healthy lifestyle, but I still can't wrap my head around that acne is a direct sort of response to the gut. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the gut is the thing that is truly contributing to all these things that are making us miserable. You know what I mean? But it really is. And I know, I can more kind of digest it, no pun intended, right now than I did like 2 years ago when I was hearing this but it's because I just think
why don't you tell us the connection?
All right.
Yeah, because I think for our audience, they're probably more like me than they are like Erin. So they hear like, oh shit, I have my skin is such an issue. What can I be doing to repair my gut to then help that issue?
Right. So if we go back to the soluble fiber that we've been talking about, the question is what does fiber do? Because what we heard back in the 80s, y'all remember this, is there's the orange drink that grandma's having so she can poop. And it just runs through you.
Exactly.
Right.
Milax, or what was it called?
That's Metamucil.
Not Milax.
Metamucil's too.
Mylanta, Metamucil or Mylanta?
Yeah.
Well, you're thinking about
Metamucil.
Miralax. Miralax is not fiber though. Miralax is a drug for
okay.
constipation.
Okay.
So, but there's Metamucil, and that's like the orange drink. And we heard fiber runs through you. It just runs through you. It doesn't do anything. That's not true. Soluble fiber comes into contact with your gut microbiome that is concentrated in your large intestine. There's 38 trillion of them. They break apart the fiber. It stops being fiber, and it undergoes a transformation into something called short-chain fatty acids. And these short-chain fatty acids, there's 3 of them: butyrate, acetate, and propionate. Forgive me if I'm being too nerdy. Just dial me back.
No.
But there's these 3 short-chain fatty acids. They come from fiber. These are, and I've been studying medicine for 20-something years now, the most anti-inflammatory thing that I've ever come across. And when you create them, they go to work immediately in the gut. They change your microbiome. They make your microbiome healthier. They heal your gut barrier. They reduce your immune system. That's what anti-inflammatory is. They protect you from colorectal cancer. This is why fiber protects against colorectal cancer. They activate certain receptors that release GLP-1. This is why fiber makes people feel full, and it's been associated with GLP-1. and then they get into the blood and they spread throughout the entire body, including to the brain, but also to the skin. And they have healing anti-inflammatory effects there. So the reason why you could make a change in your diet, Sarah, and get rid of cystic acne, which is an inflammatory skin issue, the reason why that works, a big part of it is that you can actually manipulate your entire body by what's happening in the gut with these short chain fatty acids or other types of things made by these microbes.
No, a girlfriend of mine like a year ago.
Wait, sorry.
was
Sarah, just let that land for a second because that is really impressive. Like, that's really crazy.
In 3, 2, 1.
That is really crazy. A girlfriend of mine said, yeah, I was like,
Sarah's like, when do I get to talk again?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm like, okay, this is a podcast. Nobody wants moments of silence on the podcast.
For fiber.
Like, but my girlfriend a year ago, I was like, why are you taking this fiber drink? And she goes, because someone told me that it made their like wrinkles better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what? That doesn't even make sense. But of course I ordered it because I was like, but then I never took it.
Okay, we went to Arizona recently. Let me tell you something. Dry. Everybody was like, I am dry. I feel like a raisin. I'm dehydrated. I have a headache. Guess who wasn't? Moi. You know why? I was going 2 elements a day. We love LMNT. Everyone uses LMNT. If you don't want to take it from us, take it from the millions of people that are buying LMNT. There is no sugar in LMNT. That is the thing. A lot of these electrolytes are filled. They are filled with junk.
Mm-hmm.
They're filled with sugar. That is actually dehydrating you. LMNT is one of the few that hydrates you.
And by the way, you can use it for so many different things. It's so important to have electrolytes in your food, in your drinks, to have it, put it in your water. You take it everywhere you go. You put it, it's just like a clean, simple little packet. You become addicted to the flavor because the saltiness is actually so good for us. And it's the perfect combination, and it doesn't have all that extra crap in it. By the way, they have a new flavor for summer called lemonade salt. I believe Sophia came and stole a box of it recently.
You're always talking about all your friends stealing. It's like you have an issue. You have
No,
a bunch
I'm an
of
LMNT dealer.
kleptos. You have a bunch of klepto friends. They just come over and take your stuff.
No, it's just that I'm an LMNT dealer. I have boxes of LMNT. People come and they know they can get it from me. And so I just share. I'm a very good sharer with my LMNT.
Yeah. And Simon loves those drinks. I mean, it's so funny.
He
You have to
loves the soda cans. He
Yeah.
loves them. So right now, LMNT is offering a free 8-count sample pack of their most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase. This is a great way to find your favorite LMNT flavor, or you can share it with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Foster. This deal is only available through our link. You have to go to drinklmnt.com/Foster.
Okay, my kids are in the other room.
Are we talking Foria?
Yeah, we're talking Foria, but like they should know.
God.
You know,
They
they
need
should.
to
They're
know.
women. They're women.
Okay, well, it's a perfect gift for the holidays, but I don't think that we should get it for our kids for the holidays.
Okay, I will be talking quiet. You know, I love my data. So I'm gonna just give you the data. Here's the hardcore.
Give us some data.
The hardcore facts.
Give it to us.
92% of people that used Foria felt more aroused.
That's a big number.
92 people.
92 people?
92% of people that use Foria reached
Orgasm.
yes.
Things you can't say out
exactly.
loud. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
So why don't you just take this one now a little bit more now that I have the children
Got
right
it.
here.
Okay. So imagine the best orgasm or sex that you've ever had. Okay. Are you thinking about it right now? Okay. Now imagine it could get even better with products that are designed naturally to enhance sexual pleasure and give you access to bigger, better orgasms. Okay. Are you hearing me? Are you awake? Are you listening?
I think if you are of consenting age, everybody should have this. I will say it. I don't say that about all the things we talk about. I think that every woman should have this.
Yeah, it's all natural. Okay, these are organic botanicals that are being used. If you're putting something inside yourself, it better be clean, all right? So, yes, you have our permission to try this. We fully endorse you to go ahead and treat yourself or your partner, experience your juiciest and deepest sensual experiences with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting foriawellness.com/Foster or use the code Foster at checkout. That's Foria wellness.com/Foster for 20% off your first order. We recommend trying your Awaken or their Pleasure Set. For all 3 of their bestsellers, you'll thank us later.
Okay, so there was a study, Sarah. So we were talking about, you mentioned longevity earlier, right? Like that's a motivating thing for you, right? So
I mean, and a lot of people, I think.
oh,
but
totally.
yes.
Oh, totally. But I want to meet people where they are. Not everyone cares about exactly
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah,
so there was
true.
a study where they looked at a national database called NHANES. And they basically asked the question, like, what is the most longevity promoting thing that we can find? And the answer was fiber. And what they discovered was that when they analyzed this, 1 gram, 1 stinking gram of fiber per day added 6 months into, like, basically reversed your biological age by 6 months.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
Olivia, please research. Oh, well, I'll buy yours. Do you have a soluble fiber?
Yeah. So our
Or just send it to me.
I'll send it to you.
Know.
Yeah, I'll send it
okay.
to you. The product is called DMN, which stands for Daily Microbiome Nutrition. And basically
Is it a powder?
It's a powder. It's a drink. It tastes really good.
Ooh,
And it's
I'm
got
excited for this.
fiber and resistant starch and polyphenols. All of these are things that basically work on the microbiome.
Okay.
And it comes from 7 different unique plant-based ingredients. So the key, you asked me, like, what is the thing that I would not do? And I kind of struggled with that a little bit. But, like, let me answer the question, what I would do.
Yes.
Right. And the number one thing, and I wrote about this in my book, my first book, I said, this is the golden rule of gut health. Eat a wider variety of plants. So your goal, you, Sarah, Erin, everyone at home, your homework is to try to hit at least 30 unique plants in the next week.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't even know there are 30 plants. Can we name some plant, like arugula?
Does that mean like have like mint, have arugula, have broccoli, have bok choy, like all these different things?
Yes, but it's not just veggies.
You're making me.
It's not just veggies.
Oh,
fruit.
What else is it?
Fruit and seeds and nuts and herbs and spices and whole grains and legumes. Cashews, absolutely. All nuts.
Lentils. I thought lentils.
You're
are
making
high.
me feel so guilty because I have a 1-year-old daughter and I literally give her the same food over and over again because I don't know what the hell to feed her. I'm like, oh, chicken again, cottage cheese again, mango again, like kiwi. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what to feed her.
Those are all great things.
I know, but she needs more variety.
Wait, hold on. No. Can we just, I want to understand. I want the list.
I know. I'm going back to that, is that keep telling us things that we should be doing. So variety is really important.
The variety is the key. And the issue is that, like, our food system is not going to do this for you. So if you walk into the supermarket, 75% of the calories from plant-based foods are 3 plants: wheat, corn, and soy. So if you want to disrupt this system that, like, I would argue is not doing you any favors and is actually hurting us, the way that you disrupt it is with your own choice. And this is, like, I love, for example, a smoothie, right? Because you can start your day and you can whip out that Vitamix and it requires basically 0 effort. And you could easily have 10 plants on Monday morning. Easily.
Wait, you can? How do you put 10 plants
in like a greens powder that you get?
Because chia, flax, and hemp should go in there.
Okay,
They're all
wait.
good for you.
Chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds should all go together in your smoothie?
Yes. And why not walnuts?
I'm writing this down.
And why not walnuts?
Wait, question about
Erin,
the chia seeds. Sarah.
He's listing
Sarah,
things.
I'm allowed to ask questions.
You are, but
I'm also here too. Thank you.
You are, but let him finish
seeds,
sentences.
Dr. B, chia seeds, I've heard that you can't digest them properly unless you like soak them overnight or something.
No, the issue with chia seeds is if you don't disrupt the hull of the seed, like if you took them as they are and you just swallowed them, they're just going to run through you. So
how do you do chia seeds in a smoothie?
That's the beauty. The smoothie does it for you, right? Because the blender is going to break it up where you can't like, there's no detectable chia seed anymore because it's been broken up.
Got it. So then it disrupts it.
Yeah. So, but like, picture this, like how many berries? They all count.
Is that plants? Are berries plants?
100%.
Of course.
Okay, wait. Okay, so chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds should go in. What about like what? How do you feel about the milks, like almond milk?
So whatever you personally prefer. Here's where we're at, and if you want me to explain, I'm happy to. In our house, we use organic soy milk, and we have this soy milk that we buy. In fact, my wife literally got a shipment today. that is two ingredients, soybeans and water. That's it.
I guess what? I
soy
heard
was bad
soy's
for
back.
us.
I heard soy's back.
What?
I heard that there's a lot of misunderstandings about soy, and I
Tons.
have a chat, very famous chat now called Don't Be Toxic. It's my non-toxic mom chat. And we just discussed that soy is back.
Yeah. The issue with soy.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm not mad at you. But the issue with soy is that there's a lot of junk in like ultra processed foods. Like, what is a soy chicken nugget? Like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that is very different than edamame. It's very different from like a soy based tempeh. It's very different from tofu when it's organic, which you could
Do
make
we
at
have to
home.
worry about soy and like estrogen?
No, actually, it's quite the opposite. It's actually quite the opposite. Yes. So actually, believe it or not, MD Anderson, for example, is recommending women who have had surgery for breast cancer. They're actually recommending increasing their soy intake. And the reason
Oh my
why
God.
is because we have studies that show that they live longer. So let me explain the estrogen real quick. So it's a phytoestrogen. Phyto means plant. All right. It is not the same as the estrogen that you would find from a cow. Like, this is not mammalian estrogen. This is a plant estrogen. They're not the same. And the way that it works inside your body is much more similar to a drug called tamoxifen. Now, I'm not saying it's a drug. It's not. But the way in which it functions is very similar, which is that tamoxifen is actually given to protect women from breast cancer because it partially blocks the estrogen receptor.
Mm-hmm.
So soy, the estrogen that's there, they're called isoflavones. Sometimes I'm amused because people will like talk about how phytoestrogens or soy estrogen is bad, but then they talk about how great isoflavones are. I'm like, you're talking about the same thing. So these isoflavones, they actually activate the estrogen receptors that you want. For example, like I would worry about osteoporosis.
Mm-hmm.
That receptor gets activated by this estrogen. Whereas I would want to reduce my risk of breast cancer or endometrial cancer. Those receptors get partially blocked.
So interesting. Okay, I have a question. It's a big one. I'm curious what your take is on it. How do you feel about microplastics?
Oh man.
And how our microbiome is digesting this fucking shit?
Super concerned. We're just starting to learn about them. So they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And by the way, I will happily share some of my solutions because I think that's the most important part.
Yes.
But these microplastics are everywhere. And there was a study that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine where they took people who they had surgery to remove plaque from their carotid artery. This is the artery that feeds their brain.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked under a microscope. Are there microplastics in this plaque that comes out of this artery? And the answer was for some, yes, and for some, no.
Okay.
And when they identified some people as being yes, what they found is that those people were at higher risk for having a heart attack, higher risk for having a stroke, and higher risk for dying in the subsequent years. So microplastics, like there's nothing about them that could possibly be good. So the fact that they're showing up in our urine, the fact that they're showing up in our organs, this is disturbing.
In breast milk.
In breast milk as well. Yeah, it's disturbing. All right, so the solution is you have to understand, first of all, like a major source is water.
Yeah.
I would strongly advise people to get a reverse osmosis water filter installed in their home.
Yep, we have one. And don't drink out of water bottles that are plastic.
100%. But like,
Can't you get reverse osmosis? Like, they're not expensive. I think people hear that probably and they go, oh, you with your fancy filters. It's like anybody can prioritize getting a filter, correct?
there's 365 days in a year and you can get one of these things for like less than $1 a day. So, and then it'll last you more than 1 year. So in year 2, it's free.
By the way, it's probably cheaper than buying bottled water all the time.
Oh, 100% it's cheaper than buying bottled water. It's also cheaper than buying your coffee at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about that.
By the way, let's talk about Starbucks. Let's talk about the fact that every time you go to a coffee place anywhere and you get a coffee, your paper cup is lined with plastic, and then you are drinking out of a plastic lid and you're putting hot liquid through it. What do you think you're drinking? You're drinking plastic.
Yeah, this is the issue. There's two major areas where we have to be super careful with these microplastics. One is hot liquids. You should never heat up something in plastic. You have to be super careful about that wonton soup that you just bought that comes in a plastic container. And when you go to Starbucks, it's, Erin, as you just said, that paper cup could sit on your counter for a week and it's not going to soak through. That is not a paper cup. It's lined with plastic. So I actually now, when I go to Starbucks, they do have mugs. And I say to them, I want you to serve it to me so I can drink it here in a mug.
Guys, I've just been ahead of the times. I only drink my coffee through my mug. I take my mug everywhere I go. People make fun of me. Everybody, they're like, oh, with your mug, that's so weird.
We only make fun of her because there's no lid on it and she drives with it.
But if she hasn't spilled it on herself, then she's like a ninja.
Yeah, she doesn't spill it on herself. She did recently, but it was the first time in a long time.
You guys, I'm a fucking ninja. You don't understand. I will go over a speed bump it will not spill.
Well, she drives very slow. She drives very slow. So what I could talk to you for years. What kind of to-go coffee mug are you working with?
Well, you can,
you could
absolutely do a Yeti. You could do a glass or like ceramic. You could absolutely do a Yeti.
Just so many of them have plastic tops, right? Like I've researched all over Amazon. It's really hard to find ones that don't have the lid as plastic. The one that I use is a brand called Joco. You can get it on Amazon, GOCO. It's glass, but then it has a silicone top.
I know those Joco bottles. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you guys like get on text and like make a dinner plan?
Sarah, this is very important part of this conversation, which is
but there are a million other questions. Do you understand?
How to protect your microbiome and your gut?
Yeah, I think here's the takeaway from my perspective, Erin, that you need to take a step back and ask the question, what is the process that leads to your cup of coffee? Because if your coffee machine is made with plastic, I would recommend you replace it.
Oh,
if you're using K-cups, like a Keurig, I would get rid of it. And when you drink a cup of coffee, you are much better asking for a mug or frankly, getting iced if you have to.
I took a screenshot of this to send to Sarah, okay, because she makes coffee at home every day in a coffee maker. I took a screenshot of this because I was fed this ad.
That's my coffee maker. That's my coffee maker.
This is different. This one is called Brew Simply Good Coffee. No more microplastics. It's all glass. Every single part of it.
Nice.
Girl, I already have it.
What's it called? What brand?
Olivia, what's my coffee brand called since you're downstairs? Okay.
Brew Simply
Okay,
Good.
while she's looking, I want to know, what do you think about fasting? It's very trendy. Everyone's fasting.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about fasting. Are you down with that?
Yeah, I am down with it. But it's not magical. And it's not the most important thing. Like I would far rather people change their diet than focus on that. That being said, like to me, fasting, here are the things that you can do with it. Number one, it can help you to lose weight. So if that's your goal, yeah, it definitely can, because like basically you can like create boundaries that make it better so that, Sarah, you're not eating the Doritos at 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this whole like don't eat past 7 thing that people say? Is that real or no?
It's definitely real. So it's interesting. Our metabolism is strongest in the morning and weakest in the evening.
Okay, so the phrase have breakfast like a king, lunch like a pauper, and dinner like a peasant or something like that?
Yeah,
right?
It's actually true. So like they've shown that when people shift their food towards earlier times of day, that actually it's better for them in terms of their health.
Okay, what if you don't eat breakfast?
I personally don't eat breakfast, and I tend to follow a fasting pattern. So, and I end up being, as a result of that, roughly 2 meals a day, and it works pretty well for me.
Erin, we didn't talk about gut health and fertility.
Wait, Sarah's coffee maker is, hold on, because you might have, this one is I think different, and every part of it is, there's no plastic anywhere in it. Simply Good Coffee Olson, it says. But let me see what your coffee maker is.
I have an espresso, and I am of the belief that it's metal all the way through, and I love it.
Oh, well, that's great because I have an espresso too, but those pods, I stopped using it because of the pods, and now I do a French press because it's all glass.
Oh wait, guys, I have the Mocha Master. Is that wrong?
Well, definitely the thing you're putting your coffee into is glass, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
The top, though, I think where you're steeping the water and all that stuff is all plastic. I'm seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to get you this other thing.
Okay, so I am on this fiber. I'm going to do the soluble fiber every single day. I'm very excited to do that. Should we all be taking probiotics?
Good question.
It's a good question. Not everyone. So I actually favor the prebiotics. So the fiber is the prebiotic. All right. So Sarah, we have human clinical trials with ingredients that are included in my supplement. And like, there's other fiber supplements out there too, but I'm just going to share like mine as an example. We have human clinical trials showing that I can increase your Akkermansia, increase your bifidobacteria, increase your fecal bacterium, or alternatively, you could go and buy a very expensive Akkermansia supplement, and that Akkermansia will run through you.
I've never heard of Akkermansia. Have you, Erin?
So
no.
Akkermansia is like there's these specific types of bacteria that show up in the people in the microbiome of people who are very healthy. And Akkermansia is one of the classics, and it's associated with a strong metabolism. And so like we definitely want more, but here's my point. I can give you a supplement, a fiber supplement, a prebiotic supplement, and grow what you already have and make it stronger and healthier and allow it to produce short chain fatty acids. Or alternatively, I can give you the capsule with the probiotic, you swallow it, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, you probably just poop it out.
Mm.
So probiotics to me, the role of them is more like targeted. Like, hey, if you have a bloating issue, if you have a constipation issue, or a diarrhea, I'm going to stop myself before.
You really have a very sharp brain. You remember everything.
A river runs through you. Let's imagine that a river runs through you.
Why do you just call it the big D?
Or just say digestive.
Because the big D kind of has some other connotations, I think.
Well, you just say, yeah, it really does, Sarah. You're just like having him say dick by accident. Okay.
What have I got myself into?
Say digestive issues, and then I'm going to swap that in every time you said diarrhea earlier. Okay. Say digestive issues like 3 different ways.
Okay. Sounds good. So anyway, if you have digestive issues.
Say it right now so we can swap it in. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Digestive issues. Digestive issues. Digestive issues.
You guys, I need everyone to know Erin is like doesn't care about anything. She's not like precious about things. She's like very open, and it's interesting that this is your red line.
It's just I think people talking about diarrhea is just not for me.
You said it, not me, but
I know. I literally
but the thing is though, it's like Erin, you're talking to a gastroenterologist and you lead off the episode talking about microscopic colitis. What did you think was going to happen?
You're right. It's sad that those two things are so connected and that that. Most people don't.
AG1. I mean,
AG1.
There's a reason
company.
why it's a multi-billion-dollar company because everybody uses it. Everyone loves it. It's halfway through the year. How many of you made those New Year's resolutions? I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to take more vitamins. I'm going to hydrate. I'm going to get more greens. Well, now's your chance. If you haven't done it, now is your chance. This is a great way to start. You know why? Because AG1 is 1 scoop. That's it. No commitment. It is 1 scoop, I would say, in the morning.
Yeah,
and you're good for the day. You are good for the day. So
yeah, because it's just filling everything that you need. And they test for like so many impurities and heavy metals. And so you can really trust that what you're drinking is clean.
Yeah. Another thing too is that the taste is good. When you are getting greens that are like this, the efficacy is where it's at. So it does not taste good. AG1 literally tastes good.
Yeah, it really does.
This is helping your energy. It's helping you feel better. It's helping you feel healthier. It is filling your nutritional gaps in your diet. It's supporting your immune system. I could go on. But just order it.
So start giving your body the nutrients it deserves. Just head to our link, drinkag1.com/foster to subscribe for less than $3 a day. If you use our link, you will also get a free welcome kit with a shaker bottle, 5 AG1 travel packs, and more with your first purchase. That's drinkag1.com/foster.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Okay, let's talk therapy, Erin. Let's talk
Therapy is so important. And the thing that BetterHelp is doing is making therapy accessible to everyone. You can do it. It's all online. It's all digital based. So you can do it in your car. You can do it on your phone. They make it really, really easy for you. They have over 30,000 therapists. They are the world's largest online therapy platform. They are serving over 5 million people globally, and it really works. Okay. It's an app with a rating score of 4.9 out of 5 based on 1.7 million client reviews. It's convenient. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, and it's helping people, fit therapy into a busy life, which we love.
I'm going to also say this is that now that I do therapy remotely, now that I do it online, I'm telling you, I can't believe I ever did it in person. There's something about being in the room where I don't open up the same way that I do doing it virtual. I'm such a big, big believer in BetterHelp. I'm such a big believer in the way that they are helping people. I know people personally who their therapy is through BetterHelp, and honestly, this changes your life.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/foster. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/foster.
Dermalogica. We've been using it for like over 20 years. It was one of the very first products I bought as a makeup primer. They have like a smoothing lotion that is, I would say, the greatest makeup primer you will ever use. You put that on. That's not what we're promoting right now, but I just wanted to tell you. You put that on.
I've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah.
By the way, they launched their daily microfoliant in 2001, and it's still revolutionizing the exfoliation category, okay? By the way, not to blow up Simon's spot because he's close and he can hear me, but Simon keeps asking me for more because he keeps stealing my Dermalogica microfoliant thing because he's like, I really like how it makes my skin feel.
Again, you got a lot of thieves around you.
I know.
So here's why. I think that Dermalogica, their microfoliant, it's like a polish for your skin, but it doesn't strip. So that's why I like it.
It's an ultra fine powder that activates with water. Okay. It creates like a foamy little rice-based exfoliant that just polishes away a little dullness, a little bit of the rough texture. Okay. It reveals smoother, softer skin underneath. Oh my God, Simon's holding it up right now. He's holding it up because he has it in his suitcase because he took it from me.
Simon, chill. But you know what's the best about it is that when you use it at night and then you put on all your night serums, they seep in way better because your skin is so polished. Does that make sense?
I love
so
this
it's
stuff.
the perfect nighttime routine.
Yeah, it is. But you can also use it any time of the day. Don't
you
listen
can.
to Sarah.
I'm just giving you my advice. I use it at night.
So now through the end of 2025, visit Dermalogica.com and use the code FOSTER at your cart for an exclusive free gift with any $65 purchase. That's DERMALOGICA.com. Use the code FOSTER for an exclusive free gift with a $65 purchase.
Okay, wait. I need to know if people are not going to take soluble fiber or fiber as they should, what would you say would be like the top 3 things they could eat that could be the second best thing or the first best thing?
No, he thinks the food is the first best thing.
Okay, so yeah, give us the like top 5 things to eat that would.
All right, top 5 things. Tricky one, because like to me, diversity is the key, right? So I don't want to narrow you down. I want to broaden you out. But I am a huge fan of beans and legumes, lentils. To me, those are microbiome foods.
Like pinto beans, black beans, like things like that.
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like to me, those are microbiome foods.
Things? You have to soak them, or doesn't matter?
Okay, the ultimate, the ideal, honestly, is soaking them and then pressure cooking them. That's the way that we do it in our house.
I don't even know how to pressure cook.
It's a beautiful thing, Erin. All right. So you soak and then you throw it into the Instapot. and you throw in a bay
like
leaf.
a crock pot.
Yeah, basically. But it's like not a crock pot though, right? Because it can pressurize. So it's the Instapot. And you throw these beans into the Instapot with a bay leaf, some salt, garlic, and an onion. All right. And you literally put the lid on and you press a button and you walk away. And 30 to 45 minutes later, you come back and you have the most delicious beans.
They're for Noah. That's Noah's meal. What do you mean?
I love that. She would love it. She loves black beans. That's all I've ever
You can
done.
do
Should
any
you
kind
give
of
that
beans.
to your toddler?
She
That's
loves
a good-
lentils too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. So this is what my kid.
What about rice? Do you put rice in it?
You could absolutely do whole grains. You could do rice. You could do. I love farro. I'm a big farro guy. So I guess I got two there between farro and the
Wait, white rice or brown rice, or does it not matter?
White rice, right?
Debatable. White rice is easier on the gut. It's gentler.
I was going to say, because the
Brown
shell
rice-
of the brown rice is harder to digest.
Yes. The issue with brown rice is like brown rice wouldn't be my go-to whole grain anyway, because the issue is like a lot of times they suck up a lot of heavy metals, the rice, and you'll get more of it in brown than you do in white. So if you eat, I don't avoid rice. I just don't make it my go-to. I use other whole
Guys,
grains.
why have we been told for so long, you guys, brown rice is the healthy option, white rice is not the healthy option?
Well, so I'm going to throw raspberries in there. Y'all like raspberries?
Ooh, I like a raspberry. My daughter loves them.
Okay. So raspberries are high in polyphenols. Polyphenols are not the same as fiber, but have their own effects on the microbiome. And raspberries are incredibly high in fiber, like insanely high in fiber.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
See, I think blueberries are the superfood, but would you say raspberry is more of the superfood, or it's like apples and oranges? No pun intended.
They're like neck and neck. This is like, this is like, this is like Jordan versus Kobe.
We eat wild blueberries every day in my house, like frozen wild blueberries.
Yeah. Amazing.
We eat them on
Erin,
everything.
Aaron, are you obsessed with him? Like,
Obsessed.
Do you want to thank me? I mean,
You know what, Sarah? Thank you. Thank you for bringing him into our life.
I think we need to be friends, first of all.
I
think
know,
we need a group chat.
I wish
also
you could be my doctor.
Well,
You
I'm
probably
actually,
can
Erin, I'm going
be.
to open a clinic later this year
but
to be able to do
no,
like,
but I don't want your clinicians. I want you.
figure something out.
Okay, good. I'll do telehealth. I'm great.
Yeah,
telehealth.
that's
works.
what it
Oh
would
my
be.
God, you guys, how to heal mold and parasites in your gut. Wait, okay. I got to ask one thing.
Sarah, you're really bad at this being a partnership. Really bad.
Okay. What I know, but I'm aware. I know. What do you guys think about what Joe Rogan said about ivermectin, which is like a parasite thing? And did you hear this whole thing about how Joe Rogan went on this whole like rant about ivermectin and how it's actually like it's like a super drug, like that it heals everything? And isn't that something for parasites? What's your thought on that?
Yeah. I know that some people feel that way.
It's like for cattle with parasites or something.
Well, I mean, look, here's the lay of the land. Okay. 93% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. 75% of Americans are overweight, if not obese.
That's a sickening number.
95% of Americans, we've been talking about fiber. 95% of Americans are deficient in fiber. And like not mildly deficient, wildly deficient. Okay. So this is the lay of the land. And we're like screwing around, talking about these stupid drugs, wasting our time on this, when we could actually be doing something meaningful that would change people's lives. And that to me is like, let's reframe this conversation. We can debate ivermectin. Who cares? That is not the solution to the problems that we have in the United States. We have much better things that we could be doing. And let me just say, like real quick,
just snaps for Dr. B. Snaps. This is genius. I'm loving everything you're saying.
So I don't, thank you. I'm not intending to introduce politics, but I feel like I have to introduce politics because there's things that are happening in this country, right? Yep. So we have the Maha movement that's happening. I'm not anti.
Make America healthy again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The status quo is killing us. We can't stay exactly what we're doing. This is not working.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I appreciate that there is an effort to disrupt the system. And frankly, honestly,
look, I am not a Republican, but I can't deny the fact that when you see Robert Kennedy Jr. getting up there and saying, we can't have toxic fucking shit in our food anymore. We can't be feeding our kids Frosted Flakes. We can't be like, it does affect me. That's what I care about.
It turns you on. It turns you on.
Well, that's interesting. So this, but the thing is, now I'm like totally discombobulated after that. That was a total curveball there, Sarah.
Sarah.
What I was going to say
Sorry,
look, I appreciate what they're doing. And I do think that the changes that are being proposed, I'm on board with. But the issue though is that if we're going to make this conversation about, hey, we're going to take these colors out of the food and we're going to take the seed oils away, and this is going to fix our problems. The ultra processed foods that are making up 70% of our kids' calories are still a problem. Even when you take away the seed oils, even when you take away the red 40, those things are not good for our kids, and it's 70% of our calories. So I appreciate like what they're trying to do. Those are good things.
Do you think that they're just looking at like the fringe things and not the main
well,
things?
maybe they're like, the private equity companies like all own these processed food companies that are all conglomerates. They're not going to go after them. Is that kind of where your head's at?
I think that the whole thing is dirty. I'm not talking about Maha specifically. I'm saying like the food industry is dirty. I think that healthcare is dirty. I think I think that insurance is dirty.
Companies are dirty.
Exactly, Jinx.
It's all setting us up to fail.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just
But like you said, we have choice. We don't have a lot of choice because the system is designed to push us towards the same foods over and over. But if you really look for ways to make a change, you can make the change. That's the message.
No, but we have agency, guys, on what we put in our body. In most states, but like we do.
Yeah, but kids who go to school and are on fucking food stamps and have to eat the school meal and this. I mean, on my chat with my mom friends, 2 of the moms have worked for years to get the schools to change the foods that they give our kids, and 2 of them, one in New York City and one in LA, have both changed the foods that go into their kids' schools, because they worked so hard to make a difference. I mean, you are at the mercy of the schools, what they feed your kids.
I agree. But here's the big question, is what I think our audience wants to know is, can you reverse, if people start right now, if they're listening right now to this conversation, can you reverse the damage we've done?
100%.
Can we start? Okay.
100%.
Okay, so we're leaving this hopeful.
Yeah, 100%. Well, because I think getting back to what we were just talking about, ultimately, like, yes, we can say it's a broken system. Stop waiting for the government to fix your problems. It has to start with us. And the reason why I create so much stuff for free, like you can borrow my books from the library. It took me a year to write them, right? That is a lot of knowledge that I have poured into those books that you can basically get for free. And I encourage people to do that.
That's really amazing.
Because
You're in it for the right reasons.
If you empower yourself with the knowledge, then you understand the choices that you can make that could transform your life. And it starts with you. The government's not going to do it for us. They're never going to get it right.
Dr.
They
B,
can't get anything right.
I'm obsessed with you. I want to get your book. I have a couple things to say. Sarah, you have a heart out in about 1 minute. So I need Dr. B to get his wife in here.
I've already, like, I don't care. I'm not going to be late. Like, this is more important. And we say to a lot of our guests that, like, oh, we're going to have you back. Like, we're never going to have them back.
I really want to have you back for a second one. But there's a few little rundown lists. 1, you need to go get your wife and bring her in here to say hi before we finish. 2, everyone should go buy your book. And I want you to tell everyone what your book is called and how to follow you on Instagram or newsletters, or tell them how they can get your information. And then 3, I think that you should send Sarah and I supplements so we can post about them and tell us how to get back on track. And then 4 is that I think you should be my doctor. So, start with that list.
Okay, sounds good. That's quite overwhelming, but I'll do my best. My books are called, number 1 was called Fiber Fueled. That was a New York Times bestseller. Sold about 350,000 copies. My second book is called The Fiber Fueled Cookbook. People see a cookbook. I see a protocol for food intolerances. That's what I made. To me, my books are tools.
I want a cookbook.
Yeah.
I love a cookbook. Okay.
So
we can also just buy your fiber. What's your fiber called?
So, and then 38 Terra, 38 Terra is my supplement company, and it's called DMN, Daily Microbiome Nutrition. So
Guess what I'm doing, guys? Guess what I'm doing? I'm ordering it.
Honestly,
I'll
I'm
send
going to
you
order it
some.
too.
I'll send you
Why
some.
am I asking?
No,
why am
no.
I asking you to send
Yeah.
it?
Because
to us? That's crazy.
honestly, Dr. Will, I don't want to fucking wait for you to send it for me. I want it right now. I want it. I don't
Well,
have.
if you're
Oh,
faster
can
than
we
me
give-
with my
can
own
you give-
company, I'll be very impressed. But that's okay.
Can you give
I'm gonna
our
get
call? Can you give our listeners a code that they could use?
We
So
could,
they go
you know
buy
what?
it?
We could do one in the show notes if you want, for sure. We could do one in the show notes. I
Great.
don't have one off the top
That's
of
a
my
great
head here.
idea.
But and then last but not least, if you come to my website, theguthealthmd.com, and you sign up for my email newsletter, I have a community of about 200,000 people who are on this email list. And I love, this is my favorite place to go and have a conversation with my people and share with them basically the cutting edge gut health, the new, like all the things that I'm talking about today. It's like when there's a new study, let's talk about it. So I would encourage people, it's a completely free resource. It's like having a Substack, but it's free.
I'm so excited about getting this. So can I put this powder in my smoothie?
You could put it in your smoothie. You could add it to kefir or to yogurt. You could add,
Just ordered it.
Here's what
Just
I do.
ordered it.
I take it and in the morning, first of all, circadian, so consistency. So I basically have a timer on my phone, goes off every day, and I do my DMN at the same time every day with creatine, and I add a splash of apple cider vinegar to it.
Wow. Sarah
It's
thinks she
delicious.
invented creatine. So
Did you?
did you invent it, Sarah?
Honestly, I did. Like, I really actually
That's very
did.
impressive. I wanted
know.
to tell you guys, since
Okay,
you
my
guys were so
payment was
involved,
just declined. Damn, I just
Oh,
got declined.
what's up with
but
that?
Sarah,
it's okay.
you got to pay your bills. Do I need to buy two? They're kind of expensive. I don't know if I
Can
can
you
buy
do
two
the
for you.
expedited shipping? I need it before Wednesday. Yeah.
I think I'm just going to buy mine.
Okay, give us number 3, doctor.
number 3, I don't remember what number 3 was, but here's what I wanted to say, so I'll just insert this anyway.
Great.
I met my wife on eHarmony.
No way. That's
So I never
cute.
used Bumble, but I know that you guys were involved with that. And so I wanted to
We
share.
were.
I thought it was kind of cool. I met my wife on
It
eHarmony.
is cool. Oh, that's really cute. I love a good story about that was like when online dating was
Innocent.
very kind of new, right?
It was very innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of new.
Very innocent.
Yeah.
That's really cute. Okay, I'm buying now with expedited shipping. Sorry, Sarah.
You are so cheap, Erin. This is crazy. You can't just add 2 to cart.
I
All right,
don't think
Dr.
so.
Will, you're incredible. This was such a treat. I am so inspired to start making changes. And
Me too.
I don't feel that way. I'm very set in my ways. I don't really do a lot of, and I feel very inspired.
Can I add one more before I go?
Yes.
Coffee. So we talked about having 5.
Oh.
So here's my number.
Yeah.
It's either 4 or 5, but here's my 5. Coffee. There was a
Good or bad?
study. So good.
Good or bad?
So good. So good.
Oh, thank God.
So
But it
good.
has to be organic, right? Does it have to be organic?
So here's the story that I want to weave with. I've mentioned a few times consistency, right? Make it a habit. All right. In research that was done with this company that I'm involved with, Zoe. By the way, Zoe's a personalized nutrition company and a gut health company.
I love that.
In a study that we did, they looked at all of the possible foods and they asked the question, what is the number one thing in terms of impacting the gut microbiome? What is the number one food? And it's a total shocker. The winner was coffee. And the reason why is not because coffee is healthier than kale or healthier than eating avocado or eating raspberries. The issue is that coffee contains soluble fiber. Coffee contains
Didn't know that.
polyphenols.
Makes you go to the bathroom.
This is one of the reasons why it makes you go, yeah.
Erin gives you the big D.
Yeah.
Gives you the big D.
Erin, you're supposed to be happy about receiving the big D.
Yeah, Erin. Yeah, Erin. You should light up when I tell you
Yeah.
you're getting the big D.
You kind of didn't look very happy there. You okay?
Yeah.
I didn't look. Sarah knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
All
Wait.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
It's got
here's
lots
so
of
here's the
fiber.
cool thing though. Like, if you're a coffee drinker, do you do it once in a while? No. You do it every
damn
day.
day.
You do it every day. And so the key here is that although coffee is a humble drink with not very much fiber, and it does have some polyphenols, the key is you drink that cup of coffee, it makes a change in your microbiome. You come back tomorrow, you drink a cup of coffee, it makes a change in your microbiome. You repeat that for 30 days, and next thing you know, you've made a massive change in your microbiome.
Whoa, guys, I don't know why my camera turned off. I'm still here watching everybody.
It's because you're pissed about the big D thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I didn't even mean to like disappear after that, but my shit turned off for some reason.
She turned red probably. So she's just trying to like,
I
get her-
actually didn't. I think the battery died. You know how grateful I am to hear that? Because I live for my coffee. It's just the greatest thing. I make it super strong cup, a little almond milk, and a little honey. You're telling your wife to come in? Good.
Yeah. I also think like adding some spices. So like if you added cinnamon, that counts as an extra plant. We talked about 30 plants. Add coffee counts, cinnamon counts. If you add other spices, those count too.
I love that.
Yeah, turmeric and ginger and cinnamon together. They're pretty nice actually.
I drink turmeric ginger tea. Also, Erin, you're being like really pushy with his wife. She might not like give a fuck about meeting us, but you're being like a little pushy about it.
She actually really wants to meet you guys.
You always read the room wrong. You literally never get it right. You never get it right. You really just don't ever get it right. You always have the wrong take. It's crazy.
Well, you keep saying like bring your wife. He's like, cool. Like, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want to meet us.
Maybe I don't even have
Does
one.
she?
Yeah, literally.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
he has no kids, no wife.
Exactly.
It's just like all a sham.
I'm
to make
actually
him seem, like,
a plumber.
trustworthy. Yeah. He's not even a doctor.
I pretend to be a gastroenterologist though. I had too much to drink.
Wait, that
Oh
would
my
be
God.
so on brand for us if we had a wellness expert on who was actually like a
Like a
serial
fake
killer.
doctor?
Yeah,
I
that'd
know.
be so much.
Wait, I do have a question though. When was the last time you drank alcohol? Do you ever drink alcohol?
I do, but it's very rare now. I'll be honest with you. Part of the motivation too. I mean, yes, I saw that study. The other thing that motivates me is, I'm care deeply about like with kids. Okay, don't tell
Mhm.
them, show them.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm.
So with my son who's 8 and he's like, Daddy, what's that in the fridge? Is that kombucha? I got tired of saying, yeah, that's kombucha, son.
Mm.
So that's part of the story too. But
Okay.
like
You
if I'm
always had a
out
good
with friends,
example.
Aaron, if you ordered a glass of white wine, I would probably order one too.
Okay. So you let yourself live
And
a
then
little
Sarah
bit
would
here and
judge
there.
us.
Yeah.
Well, I would
she
just be
does.
like, you guys are losers, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I would still.
I'm officially in. when you're calling me a
Yeah.
loser, aren't I?
No, that's a big step.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big step.
No,
Sarah's
you guys-
insulting you.
I have fun drinking like a margarita or a tequila. I like how it makes me feel in the moment. But Erin always makes fun of me because I would always say, like, I'm allergic to alcohol. And she's like, no, that's just a hangover. But I really do react to
Well,
alcohol.
it's poison. Nobody really reacts well to it, but like I do think there's sensitivity to it that is on a spectrum. And
No, my tolerance it's so low that it's not even normal.
When Sarah starts feeling buzz, she starts accusing people of spiking her drink and telling people that they roofied her because it's making her feel loopy. Because
I
she
got
doesn't understand what alcohol does.
First of all, one of Simon's friends, or maybe even Simon, roofied me 100% in Cabo.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Making an accusation like that and saying 100%
100%.
is psychotic.
Should we drop the name or no?
Yeah,
What a
just
way
start
to end the
saying
show.
names.
And then we'll
remember
just
I
cut
was
off
like-
right at that.
Yeah. No, by the way, I started thinking, could it have been Michelle? I don't know. Like, this was not normal. Someone put something.
Was Erin there? Was Erin there?
I stand by
Was
it.
Erin there?
I was there. I would have done it.
Uh-oh.
I would have done it.
No, Erin didn't do it, but someone did. But it
Well,
wasn't
you
Erin.
just accused Simon of doing it.
I'm just saying no one's innocent. I just don't think you would do it. But like,
Mhm.
I've never experienced this feeling. before.
100%. 100%.
100%. That's some hard data.
It was
Okay,
also
well-
it was really hot there, so it could have been the heat. But I'm pretty sure I was roofied.
Yeah, I think you had heat stroke. All right. Well, this was amazing. I really do want to have you on again. And I think everyone's going to love this episode. It's so informative. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.